Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George. We're all George. So tonight, let me uncover some news for you guys. I know most of you guys are tuning in because you want to know what happened today. Did the SEC really get hacked? Or was it an excuse that Gary gave out to delay things? And more importantly, are Bitcoin ETFs still coming? Even after this whole big debacle today. I found a clip, okay? I think everyone missed this clip. This clip basically answers the question if Bitcoin ETFs are coming. But no one's paying attention because everyone's talking about Gary and the SEC. So, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one, guys. Let's do this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look at what happened today. You know, I was actually trying to work out. I had no idea that Bitcoin pumped up all the way to like 48,000. Then I start getting texts. I get DMs like, did you see? We got ETF approval. Yes. And then I start noticing it's Bitcoin starting to come down. I'm like, oh my God. Were those guys right? Was it buy the rumor, sell the news? But it turned out no. It turned out because it was fake news from the SEC. But was it really a hack or was it something else? Was there someone pulling the strings? Called Gary last moment. It's like, hey, you got to remove that tweet. We got to wait one more day. So, I mean, this doesn't even look like a hack tweet. Like we have seen hack tweets before. Okay, especially in crypto. We've seen a lot of them. Normally, they're like, whoa, we're having a giveaway, right? Go to this webpage or send some ETH and you go get some back. I mean, they're pretty obvious. This one was written like official tweet from the SEC. Like there's nothing suspicious about this. It even talks about securities and being registered multiple times, investor protection, like all these things, a nice fancy banner with a quote from Gary Gensler. Again, with SEC language. You know, like hackers and scammers, they don't know how to write like this. They don't know how to write. Today's approval enhances market transparency and provides investors with efficient access to digital asset investments within a regulated framework. No one talks like that. Only the SEC talks like that. Right? So this did not ring any bells. No one thought this was fake, especially considering this is coming from the official SEC X page. Right? And then afterwards, what happens? Okay? Like, look at the timing. About 1:10, and then a few hours later, Gary, he tweets out, the SEC Twitter account was compromised. An unauthorized tweet was posted. SEC has not approved the listing and trading of spot Bitcoin ETF traded products, right? The thing is, if it was just a mistake, you know, if it's just a mistake, then just admit it. Just say, well, we scheduled it wrong. Someone did that. No, so the thing is, when you start lying, right, you have to like start keeping track of your lies. And then people start investigating, right? If it's just an honest mistake and you just made a stupid error, well, just say it. But now, he's being held accountable because he's saying that the account was compromised, was hacked, okay? And there's an investigation going on. Elon and X are probably investigating this. They could very easily well see if this was a compromised account that accessed it, or it was just someone from the SEC, and they may have just like scheduled it wrong. They scheduled it a day in advance, right? So Gary may be in trouble for this. He may not be able to hide from this. We got a million copies of that tweet, the initial tweet. And here's the thing, what makes it more suspicious, this is what set the bells off for me. 326, he says that SEC account was compromised, okay? 342, not only was that initial tweet deleted, but they also tweeted this. But it actually happened much sooner. Like probably within 5 minutes of this tweet, somehow they regained control of the SEC X page and delete that tweet. That never happens. We had many celebrities, Congress people, very influential people have their accounts hacked, and it took hours to get back. You don't just get it back like within 5 minutes. So that made things more suspicious, that not only did they recover within 5 minutes, they deleted that tweet. And then they put this up like 30 minutes later, right? So that's why this whole thing looks very suspicious. They tried to cover up a lie with another lie, right? So it's starting to add up. And this is exactly what happened, right? Like, we had a big pump, then we had a big dump, and then somehow they regained control, and then they dumped back down. I mean, like, man, if this isn't market manipulation, I don't know what is. This is the exact type of thing the SEC is meant to stop, right? It's supposed to be an agency that protects consumers and investors from false tweets and false news, right? And it's supposed to stop pumps and dumps like this. So I tweeted this. I think this is what really happened. You got Larry Fink thinking, man, we need a couple more days. We need to load up. So calls Gary. You need to do this for us, right? And then after Gary did what he did, Larry Fink called him. Yeah, thanks. We bought the dip. Now, don't worry. We got your job lined up. After you get kicked out or resigned, we got a nice cushy job paying you $5 million a year. You did good. I think that's more likely what happened. Okay, we got some puppet masters, someone that's pulling the strings that caused Gary to do what he did. I can't prove it. I'm speculating, of course, but that makes a lot of sense, right? And the irony of all this is, like I said, the SEC and Gary himself have been constantly nonstop tweeting about being careful, safeguarding your passwords, using 2FA, being careful what you read on the internet. The best source of information about the SEC is from the SEC, right? So like, who are we supposed to trust? You know, if we can't trust the SEC, then who are we supposed to trust? I don't know. Okay. And of course, a lot of people are calling for an investigation. But the thing is, the SEC is supposed to be investigating this type of stuff. So who's going to investigate the SEC? Gary's not going to point fingers back at his own agency and say, well, I got to investigate my own agency, or the agency's not going to point fingers at Gary. Maybe they do. But we need some higher power to investigate the SEC to make sure that this was a hack and it wasn't just like market manipulation or a last minute effort to pull back, okay? And to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So who polices the police, basically, in this case? We don't know. But you got a lot of senators, okay, Senator Loomis, that's saying, you know, fraudulent announcements like this can manipulate markets. Well, no duh. Yeah. And then you got others, they're saying the same thing, right? Like, you got to investigate this. And the thing is, lawyers are saying that the SEC, because they're supposed to be the police, they have to investigate themselves for market manipulation. Fat chance that they're going to investigate themselves. You know, you need someone else to investigate them. I don't know who. Who are they going to bring in? Are they going to bring in anyone? Or are they just going to chalk this up as this is a real hack? No one knows, right? But you know who could get to the bottom of this real quick is Elon. Elon He has access to all the logins, all the IPs and everything. I'm hoping that Elon has told his team, because he also hates SEC. He hates Gary Gensler. He can't stand them. I'm hoping he instructed his people to do a deep dive, because that would be funny if he tweets out and said, no, the account was not compromised. We know exactly who logged in at what time, from what IP, from what location. I mean, Elon can prove this right away. He can even testify, right? But it's funny that Elon, people were all making fun of what was the SEC's password. Elon says LFG, Doge to the moon. He has not talked about Doge in a long time. And the irony of this, of course, is Elon himself was charged with securities fraud for misleading tweets. Again, what happened today, if it didn't involve the SEC would be coming down hard on whoever mistweeted or whoever's account got hacked or whatever. They would be piling on the investigations and the lawsuits, right? Like they did with Elon and Tesla and many others. But because it's themselves, of course, they're going to just like pretend like it didn't happen. Okay, but with all that said, the $1 million question is, will Bitcoin ETFs, will they still come? Are we going to get multiple approvals? It's supposed to be tomorrow. Okay? Are we going to get approvals tomorrow, or are we going to get delayed? So I hinted about this video. I missed it. I bet a lot of you guys missed it. Let's talk about this. Let's listen in on this important interview that actually preceded all this. It was actually this morning at 9:40 a.m. Listen to this.
Have you filed the fees?
Yeah, all the fees came out pretty much this morning, Bob, because they're all getting ready to basically list on Thursday.
Okay.
And so that's not been filtered out through all the news. I don't want to talk about the specifics of all, Bob, because they're all getting ready to basically list on Thursday.
Okay.
And so that's not been filtered out through all the news. I don't want to talk about the specifics of ours. What I will say, though, I agree with Kathy that really, we're standing on the shoulders of giants, and there are a lot of developers that have worked for free to build the Bitcoin network and continue to add, to make changes to that network. And that we wanted to pay respect to those developers, so we're giving part of our profits that we're making off of this ET.
Okay, that is great. You know who this is? This is VanEck, or I always say VanEck. Okay, he's the CEO. He's actually coming out with the Bitcoin spot ETF. They are known for ETFs, right? Did you catch what he said at the beginning? I don't think he was supposed to leak that out. I don't think he was supposed to say that at all.
Jan, have you filed the fees?
Yeah, all the fees came out pretty much this morning, Bob, because they're all getting ready to basically list on Thursday.
Okay.
He blurted it out. They're all getting listed on Thursday. Well, in order to get on Thursday, you got to get approval first, right? So the approval should be coming tomorrow. Like BlackRock said, a lot of analysts said that approval's coming Wednesday. So, if I was a betting man, I would say that it's still all the applications should still be approved tomorrow. I mean, just because SEC effed up doesn't mean that, there's a lot of things in motion, right? If they don't approve tomorrow, then that means this guy right here, VanEck, he's going to be in trouble because he's going to be, basically, you can argue that he just gave false news and manipulated a market. Right? And CNBC also. CNBC came out today and said ETFs are approved. And then they said, no, X was hacked, not the SEC. They gave out a lot of false news. Are they going to be held accountable, right? Like, there's a lot of things in motion right now. But this interview basically concluded that ETFs are going to get approved. They know it. All the fees came out already. So that means tomorrow we're going to get approval. And on Thursday, we're going to get spot ETFs. Now, the only question is, because of this debacle, are there going to be investigations that stop the approval, right? Like, I mean, they're probably going to have to look at, because of this dump, they're probably going to look at, well, who bought here, and they have to investigate, and then they have to see who made the money and have to figure it out if they're part of it or whatever. I don't know. I'm really hoping that what happened today, Gary gets fired, SEC, there's more rules put into place to prevent SEC from doing silly stuff like this and making mistakes or whatever, and we get approvals tomorrow. The bottom line. I think that's still in play. This interview this morning, basically, I mean, if this was just some schmuck from Wall Street, then it's a different story. If he was just some analyst predicting. No, he's the CEO of VanEck, okay, a major ETF provider. They also are coming out Bitcoin spot ETFs. This is coming straight from his mouth. Okay, that basically everything's going to get listed on Thursday. But of course, this is overshadowed by all of the shenanigans that happened today. But we'll see. We'll see. Regardless if we get it tomorrow or this gets pushed back because of the debacle and everything else, you know, we will get spot ETFs eventually. Okay, if not tomorrow, maybe after an investigation, or at the very worst case scenario, we get into March. It's going to happen. Does Bitcoin need spot ETFs? The answer is no. No, Bitcoin does not. But it's not going to hurt. All these ETFs, what they're going to do, look at VanEck. Their symbol's HODL. That's awesome. That's awesome. And they're going to give 5% of their profits to the developers. So that's awesome. So bottom line is this. Bitcoin will continue forward. Okay, regardless of this, regardless of market manipulation, Gary making a mistake, or whatever it may be, Bitcoin is going to recover from this. It's not going to be stopped. It's not going to be stopped at all. So today, the best way to look at it is it's a gift. Once again, we went back in time to right here to a day ago. So, yeah, we lost about a day's worth of gains, okay? So we went back in time a day ago to the beginning of January 8th, and you now have a little bit better buying opportunity once again, okay? You could buy Bitcoin a little bit cheaper. That's the best way to think about it. We didn't reset. We didn't go all the way back down to 40,000 or 30,000, or some people are calling new lows of 12,000. No, we got set back a little bit. Obviously, major manipulation right here, but we will recover and we will move forward. So the best way is to continue to do what you're doing, which is DCAing, holding, and waiting for the gains to come to you, right? That's the best way to do it. But I do believe tomorrow we will still get the ETFs. I think there's just too many pieces at work to kind of delay things. The exchanges are probably all informed to get ready, right? And all the fund managers are informed that approval are going to come and everything else. I mean, there's just too many things in play. And the brokerages have to add all the simple. I mean, there's a lot of things, right? I still think it's going to happen tomorrow. We will see if that is the case. But we got massive inflows of stable coins. People are getting ready for this, okay? Even though we did down a little bit, people are definitely getting ready for this. Not only retail, but you know those whales, those ones with massive amount of money, and the institutions. They're all waiting for this to happen. And once it happens, we will clearly get back to our previous high. Maybe not right away, but we will. I believe we have a really, really good shot this year, especially after the halving event and the rate cuts and everything else that's happening by mid-year. I really think we could be back at previous high, about $69, $70,000 by mid-year, not even at the end of the year. I think we have a really good shot of getting back to our previous high by mid-year and end the year at $100,000, 6 figures. And then next year, that's when it goes crazy. We go from 100,000, according to this, we go to 500,000 by the end of 2024. I don't know. I think we're going to go higher than 100,000, 150, 200, 250, whatever it may be. We're going to go a lot higher in 2025. And everything's going to go higher in 2025, right? But this year is going to be phenomenal too. I see Bitcoin having a really good year. I see the alts doing 5, 10, 15x this year alone. And then we're going to continue forward from there. All right. That's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. Got a lively crowd tonight. I missed some super chats. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the super chats, but I apologize because a lot of them disappeared. Brian, vet me, check it out. Today's not a day to check out an unknown coin. I'll overcome. Why does Gary get so much hate, though, if he literally taught blockchain at MIT? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Because he has done a complete 180 from his bullish blockchain stance to now, which is basically the biggest naysayer of everything in crypto. Seriously, you look at what he taught at MIT and look at some of the interviews he has done prior to becoming the SEC chair. He raved about Ethereum and Algorand and all these new chains. He raved about them. Cardano, all these guys. And then what did he do? He turned around, became SEC chair, and declared all of them securities and going after them and suing all of them. That's why Gary gets hate. And I think you knew that, overcome, unless you just got into crypto. Gee, they're trying to destroy Elon right now, saying he's on drugs. Look into it. It's bad. It's because he owns a platform allowing free speech. Who's saying that? I didn't see anything about Elon today. But I'll look it up. I wouldn't be surprised. Of course, they want to shut that down, but I didn't see anything about that. Gary did this on purpose to delay the approval tomorrow. Is Bond going to make new highs? Thought on Cock and Ball. You know, Cock actually did really good. They actually jumped up today. But I don't know. I'm still hopeful for tomorrow. I think it's in play. If I had to come up with a theory, there's two things, two reasons why I think today happened. Could be either one. Number one is you had some intern, someone that's supposed to schedule this for tomorrow, mistakenly scheduled it for today. Right. But if that's the case, you know, just fess up and say, okay, or just pretend like it was supposed to be announced today. Who cares if it's one day early, right? Just pretend like, hey, we were announcing this. Or if you really had to do it tomorrow, not today, just say, okay, we made a mistake. We did this early, but it's coming tomorrow, right? You know, that's one possibility. But then don't lie about it. Don't say they got hacked or compromised, because then that means you're a liar. And you're going to get in trouble for that. That's market manipulation, right? That's one possibility. The other possibility is I really think someone powerful called Gary and said, no, you guys can't announce that today. It has to be tomorrow for whatever reason. I honestly think that's the second reason. And I think that's more plausible than the first. It's one of the two. It's not the account getting compromised. I'll say that for sure. I don't know how to say your name, Ilgiz. Do you think they don't have a choice due to the amount of losses coming at them after today's mess if they don't improve it? Yes. I that's another good point. I think the amount of lawsuits that'll be coming in, CNBC will be suing them, and also VanEck is going to be suing them. Anyone that, that gave false information based on the fake tweets or the false tweets or the premature tweets, they will all be bringing the lawsuits. Not only that, the senators and Congress people, they're all going to be asking for a big investigation. Bitcoin, thank you. Anyone else into Samo on Solana? I've been into it since last cycle. Meme coin, they got NFTs, just drop coins on the phone today. Samoid or something like that. It's just a really weird name. Not something I'm into. So I don't know. Maybe some people are. I hate CRO and I invested at a wrong time. Do you think get back to all-time high, Danielle? If you hate it, why did you invest into it in the first place? I'm not a fan of CRO. I've always said that. Never been a fan of CRO. I think their exchange is overrated. Their chain, the first few dApps that came on board look really shady. I don't know how many they have onboarded now. Like, I don't know. I just never liked them. QA FOMO, wish you all the best. Thank you. Man, I believe you so bad that the ETF is tomorrow, but you never know with the SEC. They may postpone it. They may. But, I mean, it just seemed like it was set in motion already. I mean, based on what VanEck said, this was a done deal. Done deal. All the applications, everything, the processes, the endless filing and amendments and everything. No ETFs have ever been denied being this far along through the process from all the people that's familiar with the situation. This is supposed to be approved. Okay? And the fact that VanEck basically said all the fees are collected since this morning. We're going to get all listed on Thursday. I mean, he confirmed it. He knows. From what it's worth, I used to work on Wall Street and wrote many blurbs like that. The blue banner looks legit, but the tweet itself is sus. Why? Why is this sus? That actually looks like a legit tweet. Why does this look sus? Papa Bear Studios. Trash says, hashtag fire Gary Gensler. I don't disagree with that. Chromia is growing and isn't dipping. Check chart. Today is pretty good. For the month is pretty good. For the year is pretty good. But all time is still not very good. But I will give you that. It is growing. I mean, they're a database relational chain. They got My Neighbor Alice. But they got a few other ones. I don't know. I was into them back in 2021, but they just never accounted to anything. And My Neighbor Alice just never, it was so hyped up, but never went anywhere. Imagine if Gary tweeted that ETF was denied instead, then came out and said that we were compromised. That'd be funny. All right. Man, I'm missing a lot here. Jack says SEC fines companies millions for this mistake, right? Yes, not only millions, but they tend to like hold the CEOs accountable, right? A lot of times they get removed. So who's gonna do that to Gary? I don't know. I don't think anyone's gonna do it to Gary. I mean, we gotta get some people to like get this guy kicked out. Do you think now is a good time to buy some ADA and leverage it a bit? You know what? Leverage is always dangerous. Okay. My BDC longs got liquidated hard with this, but my other ones are doing fine. I mean, this kind of manipulation, man, that's just too much. That's just too much. But yeah, I mean, you know, I think if tomorrow we get the approval, which I still think is more likely than not, it's going to be a really good day. Tomorrow will be a rally day. And today will be forever known as, you know, the Gary pre-manipulation day ahead of spot ETF approvals. I don't think anyone's ever going to forget this. But, you know, we're not down that much, barely down. Everything else has held pretty well. Ethereum is actually up. Solana's up, right? A lot of things are still up. So, I mean, I think tomorrow's going to be a good day. Tommy Wallen, with a tweet that powerful, it's all that's needed to move the needle. I think Froster's plans were weak and backfired. Yes. I mean, basically, this kind of proves how strong Bitcoin is. If this was like, you know, early in 2023 or in previous cycles, like, you know, like 2021 or even, you know, 2017, when you had FUD, you see Bitcoin drop like 20%, like it's nothing. We have seen that many times before. Bitcoin go down 20, 25, 30%. Those scam wicks were nasty. Nasty. Okay? And even though this looks nasty like this, you know, overall, it was like a 5% swing. It wasn't a 25% swing. And my point to that is Bitcoin is so much stronger now because you have so many holders that are not leaving. So, I mean, people aren't panic selling. Bitcoin's price is not going to go anywhere. So the manipulators, their ability to manipulate shrinks little by little by little as more holders hodl and as the price goes up. That's just how it is. And soon in the future, you're not even going to be able to manipulate Bitcoin like this at all. Hold on. Elon fought us on PBD's channel, who had Sailor on. Check it out. I'm going to be honest, Rich. Right now, I care about Bitcoin. I'm not so worried about Elon being canceled, okay? First of all, he's not going to get canceled. He's way too powerful to be canceled. But let's just concentrate. First things first. Let's concentrate on Bitcoin, get that ETF. Lazaro, it was like a movie. It really was. Call your senator and demand an investigation if ETF's not approved by Rob. Yeah, I think everyone should do that. That's not a bad idea. Today was amazing. Hoops Court is beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate that. I actually got some workout time today. I was actually shooting around, doing some push-ups, lifting some weights, and then I get all these messages on my phone. Like, it was blowing up, and I was like, what the hell is happening? CRO H-bar, which one has more potential? Oh, H-bar for sure out of the two. World Mobile Token. Is this the one on Cardano? Or is this a surveillance one? Powered Unstoppable Mobile Network. Yeah. I don't know which one. Is this on Cardano or their own? I think this is a poor man's version of Helium. So I would say just go with Helium. Titan X, no coin list yet. Awesome project. Research, please. Okay. School of Hard Knocks. Man, $100 super chat. Appreciate that. Come on, show some love, y'all. No $5 nor Big Macs. I appreciate it. Really do. Yeah, Rich, I'm just not concerned about Elon right now. I'm concerned about Bitcoin. What will Bitcoin reach tomorrow if ETFs approved? I think today we got a good hint. I think 48,000 is a no-brainer, of course. And then 50,000. You know, somewhere around 50s. I didn't draw any more lines. But, yeah. A lot of people think once we hit 48,000, we're going to dump down to a new low or whatever. I think this is all nonsense. We could see some profit taking. There's nothing wrong with profit taking. But, I mean, it's going to kick off this liquidity race where everyone's trying to put liquidity into Bitcoin. No one wants to miss out on the pump. Jeff Wharton says, this is some major drama, but ETFs are still coming. It's tomorrow. Tomorrow. Rich, thank you. Papa Bear Studios. They would not use acronym. Look in the blue. What about it? So you're saying they won't say ETFs? They will say exchange traded funds instead? Or you mean the hashtag? I don't. Okay. I'll just agree to disagree there. Chromia didn't have a mainnet before. Now they have set 2024. And they will compete with Celestia, modular chains. They didn't have a I don't know. In 2021, I think to recall, they did have their mainnet. Or that was a testnet back then. Play the last 15 seconds of the video. All right. I didn't play the last 15 seconds. I'll just play this whole thing again.
Jan, have you filed the fees?
Yeah, all the fees came out pretty much this morning, Bob, because they're all getting ready to basically list on Thursday.
Okay.
And so that's not been filtered out through all the news. I don't want to talk about the specifics of ours. What I will say, though, I agree with Kathy that, you know, really we're standing on the shoulders of giants. And there are a lot of developers that have worked for free to build the Bitcoin network and continue to add, you know, to make changes to that network. And that we wanted to pay respect to those developers. So we're giving part of our profits that we're making off of this ETF.
But you did publish your numbers this morning, right?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out there. It's out there.
And you don't want to tell us what it is?
No, but you know, Doug's compliance people are making me really nervous.
Oh, brother, for crying out loud. But you think it will start trading on Thursday?
VanEck products are competitively priced and very well built.
You're reading like an advertisement. But you believe it's going to start trading Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay. Jan,
Yeah, Thursday. He basically said it at the beginning, but he said it at the end. I don't know why more people are not talking about this clip. This should be the only thing that people are talking about. But no, instead we're talking about Gary. I mean, he just confirmed it. He's the CEO, okay? CEO of VanEck, okay? So he knows what he's talking about. He's not just an analyst making stupid predictions. He knows what's up. So again, if they're listing on Thursday, that means they have to get approval tomorrow. Eli, now's the time to buy. Did you see BTC shoot up to 48? Yup. That's why I think tomorrow when we get the official approval, we will see Bitcoin fly up to 48 and 50s. And then I think it's going to settle somewhere in the 50s. Jordan asks, why would Coinbase be affected by low ETF fees? Well, of course, because if it's cheaper to buy Bitcoin spot ETFs than it is to buy real Bitcoin, then it's going to affect Coinbase. That actually makes a lot of sense. But Coinbase offers so much more besides Bitcoin. So there will always be people using Coinbase. Julian, do you think the approvals will come after 4 p.m. again, or do you think they'll announce it early? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if we ever seen something like this. I don't know if they will rush it out or they will wait and pretend like there's an investigation. I actually don't know. It's probably after hours. I would think it's after hours. I don't think they want to announce a pre-market because then it may affect. I don't know. I honestly don't know. That's a good question. Try to find ETF in any of Gary's tweets. Okay. But it's not Gary tweeting. It's the SEC tweeting. Coinbase is going to have custody of basically all the funds. I had a slide. Maybe I closed it out. But yeah, here we go. Here's a slide of all the ETFs, and Coinbase dominates. Besides 3 of them, every single one is using Coinbase as custodian. So they're going to be doing just fine. And what doesn't show is there's something else called surveillance partner that's supposed to be tracking the prices. And everyone has chosen Coinbase. So Coinbase is going to be doing just fine. Huge mob. Urgent question. What about the fee arbitrage from Grayscale's 28 billion worth of BTC at 1.5% high fee moving to cash as selling pressure into the market to movers to no ETFs? I don't know. What's your question? So you think GBDCs go tank? Is that your question? The thing is, the 1.5% probably prevents people from selling because they don't want to pay that 1.5%. Gary Austin, not Gary Gensler. I live in Nashville. Should I go to the conference? If so, which package should I buy? If you're talking about Bitcoin conference, I don't know. But I am going to be having a conference too. I haven't listed it yet or announced it officially, but I will have WAG 2024 right before Bitcoin 2024 in Nashville this year in July. I'm going to be hosting a lot of events, but also like a mini conference that's going to be in Nashville. So it's going to be outstanding. Chandler, appreciate that. How much do you think Chainlink would go up by this year? Chainlink goes through phases, and sometimes they're really boring phases. But, let's see. Chainlink all-time was at $50. So, I don't know. They're not that far off from it. 4x to get back to their previous high. Can they do that this year? I think they can. I honestly think 4x is not that far off for them. I think they can actually do that. It will be the coin I know where to do a 10 to 50x. MK, I hope you're right. I hope you're right about that. But it takes more than just a mainnet and some good games to cause it to pump. They need to have good marketing too. Can we confirm that account SEC Gov was compromised? No. No, we cannot. They say they were compromised. I don't know. I don't think they were compromised. They got that account back way too quick. And they deleted that tweet way too quick. It just doesn't add up. Jason Core, you just got yourself timed out for 30 minutes. Congrats. Interior guy says it was inside compromise. It could be. They'll probably go find some fall guy and say, well, this person did it. But thing is, they have to prove that it wasn't like scheduled improperly, or that employee didn't get orders for someone to post it or whatever. I mean, there needs to be a big inside investigation, and it can't be done by Gary himself. I think Elon could find out really easily. George, do you like Say? I do. I think they're promising. Very promising. That's what they get from using the free Wi-Fi in an operator. All right, guys. I think we all have a big night. We all need to get some rest. We need to calm down, and we need to prepare for tomorrow. Okay. VanEck basically said, we're going to Tony welcome new member. We're going to get listings on Thursday. Okay. He said it on air. Is he a liar? Or are we going to get approvals tomorrow? I think we're going to get approvals tomorrow. Regardless of what happened today, I think we're going to get it tomorrow. Okay? We'll see. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow morning or after hours or what. I think we're going to get it tomorrow. If not, unfortunately, I think the excuse would be there's an investigation and they need to look into it, and it's going to delay things. But you know what? I think there's too many pieces in play. Too much planning, all these things. If it's planned for tomorrow, it'll still be tomorrow. But it'll be interesting to see what excuse they come out with, right? Citizen Crypto, appreciate that. I do. All right, guys, smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. Last comment, question, your prediction on ADA before the halving. I mean, ADA's not going to move that much from here to halving. I think eventually it'll get back to previous high, but from here to halving, I don't think it's going to move that much. A little bit, but not that much. Set your stop loss, all Nicholas says. All right, have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one. Take care. Times like this, volatile, wish I knew how to leverage trade.